Welcome back to the podcast, everyone. Today I'm with a very special guest, the one and only Nathan Nzanga.
Yes, sir.
I pronounced your last name right, man?
Correct. Silent N.
Awesome. That must throw people off all the time.
Yeah, for definitely. I've been Nathan Nzanga, Nagunza. Like people add letters that aren't there, but people
Do you
see
know?
NZ and get confused immediately.
Do you know the comedian Tom Segura?
Yeah.
Like I was watching one of his stand-ups, and he was like, "Whenever I go to a hotel or something, people think I'm going to be some Japanese guy, and they always pronounce it in their head Segura." Like some fucking Japanese thing. I'm like, holy shit. I feel like you'd get the same thing, kind of.
Nzanga. Yeah.
But yeah, man, I did some research on Congolese-Americans, and there's only
What?
like 11,000 Congolese-Americans.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow. I mean, there's a lot in the Northwest. I mean, like there's a big community in the Northwest of Congolese people, but a lot of Congolese Americans are in North Carolina.
Mm.
Yeah. My dad, when he first came to the States, he stayed in North Carolina for a while, and there's a large Congolese community over there.
Yeah, because I did some freaking like, I looked up like a census. I was like, I don't know any Congolese-Americans, and it's like a really small population actually.
Yeah.
Do you follow your heritage at all? Of course, like I heard from your other interview that your dad moved here in like the 80s. So has he told you all about the Congo, and have you been there?
I've never been to the Congo still, man. I'm
Oh my
21.
God.
That's one of my biggest things. Like growing up, I used to be like, oh man, I have zero interest in going over there. Nothing. Like you guys came over here for a reason. But like that was ignorant. Like I was silly. Like I want to be able to realize why my parents are the way they are, and like seeing why they're the way they are like will help me have a bigger realization of why I'm the way I am. Yeah.
What do you know about the Congo that you maybe read through books or your parents or?
The Congo was colonized by the Belgium way back in the day, and they so French is the national language over there, but my parents speak Lingala and French, and then my grandma speaks this language called Kikongo as well. My grandma lives with us as well, but yeah, they're Congo's independent. I want to say like at least 30, 40 years ago they got independence from Belgium type thing. But one of the like I only learned about like King Leopold and the Belgium like what the Belgians murdering millions upon millions upon millions of Congolese people for rubber. I learned that about that in like junior year of high school. Like nothing about it was weird. But yeah. Before yeah, Congo's just in the middle of Africa. I gotta go to know. I gotta go to know though.
Isn't Africa like the biggest country or something like that, and can fit like multiple?
Continent in the world, yeah. But
That's freaking nuts.
a lot of world maps they don't a lot of world maps they don't put the actual size that it is. Like the comparatively, apparently the Americas is way smaller than it is supposed to be on the world maps, but the world maps that they've shown us aren't necessarily to scale.
That's crazy. So speaking of all those different languages in your household, do you understand all of them, or are you kind of lost sometimes?
I took French for 3 years, and I thought because my parents knew French, it would just be like, yo, I'm gonna pick that up quickly. No, it didn't happen. And then like I was terrible at French. And then Lingala, they spoke Lingala, French, and English around the house. But growing up, if they didn't want us to hear something, they'd just flip from English to French or flip to English to Lingala. And we'd just be like, really, guys, you're just gonna like let us out of the conversation. But eventually we picked it up. Like I can't converse like that with somebody speaking Lingala, but like if you're speaking at me in Lingala type thing, I'll pick up body language and I'll pick up the majority of what you had to say.
So do you know how to pronounce like your first name in every language that your family speaks, or is it all similar, just Nathan?
I mean, my grandma calls me Nathan. My mom and my grandma call me Nathan, or Yeah, my dad, like, I don't know, like with the Nathan with the thick African accent is just like Nathan or something. Like,
I feel that. I didn't. Everyone says that like learning a language is actually like easy. Like there's like Rosetta Stone and all these different things, or like I guess kids actually pick it up really quickly, like
I
Spanish and
wish
things
they
like
would have
that.
forced us to learn it when we were super little. It just would have been like that. But
I know.
yeah.
Like I took Mandarin for 3 years from like my freshman year through junior year. And the thing was though, I was the only black kid in the class and there was only one other white kid and the rest were all Asian. So they basically knew the language already.
They
So
just
like
take Mandarin to quick
like
A.
so, yeah, it was easy A. Like even English isn't that like if you're taking like language arts or just English or whatever people call it, that's not just English. Like that's just hard to learn, like all the different sentence structures and everything like that.
Yeah,
But like when you're learning like Mandarin or whatever other language, you're actually basically starting from A to Z and then working
yeah.
your way up with like small sentences. So it's like just it's like preschool for them basically. So
Jeez.
like for me to for me to like keep up with the class, like me and this other white guy, we would just like memorize it, like completely like memorize the study guides or like flashcards, and then we would both honestly just like puke up all the answers. Like neither of
Wow.
us know any of the like don't know the language at all. Like I was talking to him the other day, and we just completely forgot it because like we just wanted that A because like we'd be the only one. Like if occasionally, of course, we'd like actually like for Chinese at least or Mandarin, you'd either get like an A on the test or an F. Like there was no in
Yeah.
between. Like if you knew your shit, you knew your shit. So like if there was an F in the class, it'd either be me or him. So like everyone would fucking know. So we had to just like memorize that shit. That's I feel like it's just a terrible way to learn.
Yeah.
So
Yes.
I don't know,
How
man.
many classes like how many classes growing up were you like, I'm here because I like learning this stuff versus I'm here because I need this A?
One,
One?
just one. Maybe language arts because I I liked writing and stuff, but the only class that honestly mattered to me overall was senior year when I took radio. And then I was able to get hired by 92.5 like in senior year. Like I was like the youngest person to get
Wow.
hired there. And yeah, and now I'm just doing podcasting and being part of the station. But like besides that, I
So you
hate
work for
math.
moving right now?
Everything's closed there right now,
Okay.
because of the virus. I can't even record because I recorded my episodes there as well. So I
Mm,
can't even do that. Can't do anything for the station right now. So I've been
I see.
just making like makeshift setups throughout my house, finding which room has the best like acoustics. Like right now,
Okay.
I'm in my workout room. So, and I think we've decided this is not the best room. So we're gonna move it again tomorrow.
I
But
mean, I like the Mickey Mouse phone in the back. I like the aesthetic that you got going on, though.
thank you. See,
I can
I
really
love
dig it.
Mickey Mouse. I got the freaking Mickey tat.
Okay, okay. When was like Mickey Mouse? Like, of course, when you were little, but like
I
growing up, it was
don't
just
know.
always Mickey Mouse, or
It was like my favorite superhero and everything was like Spider-Man. I had everything Spider-Man. And then somewhere in middle school, I somehow learned how to do like the Mickey Mouse voice. So I was able to, I just like, it just grew on me. But then in the past like few months, I can't do it anymore. I'm like, what the fuck?
I
Like my
was about
voice
to
isn't
say you
even
can't
deep.
say that you can do it without like giving us
I
an example.
know. I know, right? It would just be embarrassing at this point. I have like, I probably have a video saved somewhere I'll send you, but like,
Like,
it was great. But what about you? Like from like your previous interview, you said like you only did school for like 1 year for college or?
yeah, I went to Grand Canyon University in Phoenix for a year, and when I went there, I was like I was iffy about going to school in the first place. I was really only going to school just on some like, a this is what like I don't know, this is what you've been working towards your whole life. This is what your parents have been talking toward. Like this is where everybody in the family is supposed to do things. Like we
Mhm.
came from Congo to see Washington to America to make sure you guys can get the best possible life. And the best possible life means the highest ranking of education you can possibly get. So like all my siblings are like my little brother is the only one that's still in school right now, but my other siblings they graduated from college. Um, but Yeah, I went to Grand Canyon for a year, went to some classes, eventually stopped going to some classes, eventually just sat around in my dorm, just sad all the time, just not doing very much. And I don't know, middle of the school year, I put that energy towards art and just writing, and I just started making as much as I possibly could. So that's how we started making the Welcome to Naturopolis series. A lot of the trilogy of mixtapes that we have out online.
Wow, that's a great background.
Yeah.
I'm kind of in the same boat though. Like, so I graduated from high school almost like a year and a half ago, 2019,
Okay.
and so I like moved out of my house like in the middle of senior year, and I was like living with friends and stuff, and like I was able to like finally like think for my own because I didn't have to like worry about my parents. Like if I wanted to do something, it was because I wanted to do it, and like my my family wanted me to go to school to be like a doctor or some shit,
Yep.
even though I was bad at science and hadn't like there was nothing about me that screamed doctor by any means. They were just like, you know what, that's a good profession for you to do. Like, what the fuck? I'm not in any advanced math classes or science classes. And so they wanted me to go to this like specific college that would give me like this some whatever doctorate thingy. And I was like, I don't want to do this shit at all. It makes absolutely no sense. And I joined the radio class and it just like clicked for me. And I realized, well, the movement, like I got hired by the station in like May of 2019. And by May, that's when you really want to know like what college you're going to be going to by that point.
Yeah.
And I was like, because I interviewed them for my radio show in high school. And then like literally like a week later, they accepted me to work there. And between that like week in between, I was like, this is where I'm going to decide if I'm going to be working for radio or going to school for radio. Because I had decided by that point that I was not going to be a doctor because it just made no sense to me in the first place. But like,
my parents was just hoping that one of their four kids would end up being a doctor. They were 0 for 4 for sure. But but they were pushing it, man. Part of me wants to throw a doctor in my rap name just to
Dr. Nzanga.
Kind of got one.
But I don't like I understand. Parents probably understand, but at the same time, I don't think they realize like when you're a kid about to like live on your own, like nowadays, like you can research how much shit actually costs. Like you can literally break down how much money you need for even food for like 1 year. And then you're looking at like how much it costs for food for 1 year. And maybe that's like $5,000. And you're like, oh shit, that's kind of a lot. And maybe you're looking at like how much gas is going to cost for that 1 year in school. Okay, maybe that's a lot. And then you finally get to the point when you look at how much it's going to cost to attend this school, and then you're like, oh, $80,000. That's a lot.
$80,000 every year. And
yes.
also, I'm trying to be a doctor. I've never been interested in any chemistry class I've ever taken ever, but who cares? I'm gonna just grind time. Come on. Let me do this for the next 10 years.
Yeah. Like back in the day, you could easily like pay your way through school. But like, even if you're like a girl and have like a sugar daddy, that guy's not going to be paying for your whole entire school. Like, no one's going to be openly fine paying for your whole school unless they're set with millions of dollars in the bank already.
There's old dudes with enough of a bag. There's old dudes with enough of a bag to do it. It's not,
honestly, you're probably right.
I'm sure it was easier back in the day, but like at the same time, I think the market is higher nowadays than it was. Like I feel like I have multiple friends type shit, just like, yeah, I send my feet pics to old man's. Like he sent me $45, like he sent me $300, like whatever. Like, I have multiple friends just like, yeah, it's definitely a regular occasion now.
I get that. I feel like I just want that to happen to me one time, because you always hear about girls like having old men walk up to them and being like, hey, I'll pay for your stuff. Like one of my friends was literally just like walking in Kirkland, and then this guy like proposed to her with an idea to be their sugar daddy, like just out of nowhere. And then I go a lot of places. I live in Snohomish now, which is way north. And I
Good.
go from Snohomish all the way down to Tacoma just to meet with artists and everywhere in between. I walk down lots of streets, sunny, rainy, driving, whatever, and not a single old lady or even an old man has come up to me and be like, "Hey, I love your hair. I like your Mickey Mouse tattoo. Let me pay for whatever you need." Not once.
Bro, I hear you, bro. I've been walking around just like, what is it gonna take for me to be in consideration? I need some videos to fund. If you guys could help pay for studio time,
Mm.
that would be great. I could sit around and chat with you.
100%, dude. But I did see when I was doing research, dude, you raised a fuck ton of money for your new video thing that you're doing.
Bro,
Like,
that was wild, man. That was like grace of God, man, and the grace, the kindness of people's hearts, man. Like I didn't like I put the fundraiser up on my Instagram once, man, but like people just ran up with it, man. People were sharing it
wow.
everywhere, man, and like 100 when they said that we should raise $15,000 to put for the video, I was just like, that's not necessarily something that I could see happening.
Mhm.
Like all the videos that I've done have been run and gun, just like, hey, we're gonna do it. But like this was my first, like, this was the first like big crew on set, like very, 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 very expensive stuff that we're working with, and it was just like a super cool story too. So like people were really intrigued and wanting to help out, and Truce did a lot when we first put it out. So I think people were just like excited to see where else we could go with it. So yeah, we like over 100 people raised $20,000.
In 2 months. That's fucking nuts.
Yeah, man. I would never have thought, but man, like we got blessed. So it's just like I gotta take the opportunity that we've been given and run with it, man. I gotta make sure that the album that we're working on is amazing type thing, and I gotta make, and the video is pretty much, it's almost there, but yeah, probably like a week away from the video being done. But like the video is really, I think it's really gonna mean a lot to a lot of people.
I think so too, dude. I could definitely see that song Truce, even though it's an older song. Some fucking black director is gonna find that and put that in the background of like some black movie. I can just see that happening sooner or later, man.
You never know, man. You never know. Slowly but
Never
surely.
know. So with Truth, the sequel, I guess, to Truce, what was your idea with waiting to put out the song also? Because I was like, maybe I can listen to the song because like you have like tons of like news articles talking about it, but I'm like, oh, the song's not even out yet. I feel like you're waiting for the song to drop with the video, or what's the
Yeah,
process behind that?
we're gonna put the video out with the song. I think we might put the song out a couple days before, but we just want to make sure that the video is like perfect before we put out the song. But I put out an a cappella version of the song. Like when the after the like a couple weeks after George Floyd had passed, I think I started like the day after George Floyd died, I think I started watching the I started writing Truth, and we're gonna call it Enough instead. But I started writing it, and yeah, I was just like, I feel as if I gotta be able to like I just need to expand upon my thoughts, because this isn't 100% of where I'm at right now. And like I love Truce and I love what that did, but like that's not the energy that I was feeling the first time I watched the George Floyd video. And I wanted to write about where I was at then, and then I wanted to like continue thinking about it, talk with more folks. Like I talked to some police officers, to talk to I I've been going to these protests. Like I've seen I've been at protests in Chicago, I've been at protests in Portland, I've been in protests up here. Like like I just needed to see as much as possible before I could feel as if I was ready to say everything that I needed to say. But yeah, I'm just trying to make the song is pretty much done at this point. It's been a long summer. The summer's over. It's fall now, but
It's fucking nuts.
it just went by like that.
I know.
2020 feels like it's been like 3-4 days.
I know. Like March just was put on pause and then like blinked and now it's fucking October.
Yeah. It's like stay inside and you
Yeah.
blink and it's on. Yeah.
But I think I get how you feel with your song Truce. Like, I don't know if this is an example everyone can relate to, and definitely no diss to this group, but you don't want to be like an artist like Public Enemy, who's like the first thing you think of when you think of Public Enemy, most people is like Fight the Power or something
Fight the
like that.
pow.
Like, you have more to offer than just Truce. Truce is definitely a song that's necessary for everything that's happened. But you definitely don't. I don't want you. And I don't think you want to be someone that's boxed in with a song that you made when you're how old again? Like 15,
That
something
was
like that.
I made Seeds when I was 15. I made Truce when I was 17.
17.
It's just like that's where I was at, and like that's where I was at, and like I think a lot of people are still at that place, and I think it is really hard. But like, yeah, you're right. I don't want to pigeonhole myself in that experience and pigeonhole myself with that with simply that idea, and I can expand upon it as much as possible type thing. So it's like finding cool ways with art to not sound redundant, but like I don't know, convey something that means something to people.
For sure. Why do you think it is like Seeds is definitely a good song, but like that is kind of old now. Why do you think that's the song that people are just so drawn to? Like, I was listening this afternoon to like your song with Katil. Like, I'd never seen that music video before, and that shit was fucking fire. But then I see people in your comment section being like, Seeds is the song that really touches my soul. I came here from watching Seeds. I'm like, but yeah, that song that you just put out with Katil is a little bit older now, but Seeds is way older. And I'm just like, why are people still trying to connect Seeds to what you're doing now? Even in the comment section.
Dang, man, it's like everything that I've put out since then, type every time I've put out a project after the fact, it's just been like, man, thank you for this project, man. I'm so glad I found Seeds is what brought me here. I'm so glad Truce is what brought me here. Or they'll listen to the whole project and they'll be like, man, that was fire. I'm gonna listen to Seeds one more time, man. I need that one more. And it's like, I get that just on some like I think everyone can relate to Seeds just on some like everybody has felt as if they had no idea what they were doing or where they were going, and they just get into self-deprecation mode, just on some like, oh man, everything's worthless. There's no point of me doing anything. Like I don't even know why. But I don't know, something about the second verse of Seeds and just like having the realization that you just like everybody's going through something hard right now, but like you can find resilience, like you are worth it. You can be your best self regardless of whatever is happening. Like people really resonated with the idea of just like getting through it. So I think people take Seeds and they're just like, you know what, man, it might be Monday morning. Like I have zero interest in putting on this, like getting ready for class or going to work right now, but you know what, let me throw on this song type thing. This might be a boost of energy. It is going to be a good day. Like things are hard, but like I can get through it.
For sure. Yeah, and that's a good way to look at it too. I think that's important for you to be able to look at it that way as well as maybe people, maybe just thinking that's like your best song, which can definitely be annoying, but also think about the bright side, like how that can actually help people, even though you were so young when you put it out.
They're gonna see my other stuff the more consistent I get with it. Like I truly believe that everything is going to be able to get seen, and everything is like people are gonna look at my whole body of artwork type thing if I stay consistent. But like I got lucky that my first couple of songs were Truce
Fucking
has
nuts.
almost 2 million views, bro. Like I was 17 just putting a song out on SoundCloud with my homies.
Damn.
It's like I got blessed, I got lucky for sure, but it's just like I think the more I work at it, the more I hone in what I have to say, and the more I'm just like, yeah, people resonate with the songs the most that where it's just like I'm not simply speaking to my experience. I'm not simply speaking to like, yo, swag, money, hoes. And I got plenty of those songs. Like there are some of those songs in the discography, but like I think the songs that resonate the most with people are the ones that it's just like, nah, let's be uplifted.
Hmm. And you're from Shoreline, correct?
Mm-hmm.
So that's
Yeah, I
crazy.
was.
So like the biggest, like, it's like up north, it's like Shoreline and like Mount Lake Terrace. So like it's freaking. You got the little Mosey on one side, and you got the Nathan Nzanga on the other side.
It's crazy, bro. Like I think the North Side has a lot of talent. I think people. Shout out to what Mosey and Royce were doing, bro. Like I think Mosey and Royce brought a lot of light to what's going on in the North, in the whole like greater Seattle area in general. But like in the North End specifically, I can speak for like Katil is doing big things right now. Dempsey's doing big things right now. Matondo got crazy music right now, man. This dude Zay Wonder, man, ridiculous music. And like there's a lot of people that like I think more and more people are starting to see it because like Dempsey grew up 5 minutes away from me. Katil grew up 5 minutes away from me. And it's just like Dempsey's signed to RCA right now. Katil's song is being played during the NBA finals. Like that's
Shit.
it's just like everybody's from out here that decided to put their head down at some point and was just like, this is what I'm going to do every day. Like I love Dempsey, man, because Dempsey hit me. He's just like, yeah, I'm gonna put out around 5 TikToks every day, man. I'm going to write this many songs every day. And that was around this time last year. He was telling me that.
Damn.
And a couple months ago, he's announcing that he's signing the RCA, man, after all these Spotify views. And I'm just like, that's my bro, man. I watched you do this. Like, I watched you work your ass off for this, bro. Like, come on.
Yes. Holy fuck.
Man, I'm proud of him, man. I'm proud of Royce, man. Like, I grew up with Royce. And what Royce and Mosey are doing, man, like, the whole world is her Blueberry Fuego right now, bro. That's crazy. And it's just like there are Royce type beats, bro. I sat there in Royce's house, man, watching that kid make beats day after day and night after night after night after night. And now there are kids on YouTube trying to be him.
That's fucking nuts.
Like I see the work ethic that my homies from the North End had, and I'm just like, yup, I gotta put that into myself and put my head down because I see it can happen.
And fucking Katil, he recently got on Sway in the morning. I was like, holy shit.
Katil has a Sway interview?
You didn't see that? That happened like 2 weeks ago. Yeah.
What? I did not see that, bro.
Got the blue check now on Sway in the morning.
Oh my God. I did not know that.
Yeah.
That's wild.
Because I'm subscribed to Sway, so like I'll get like a notification anytime like a new interview comes out, and it popped up on my phone. Katil. I was like, Katil. There's no way that's Katil. And it was fucking Katil on Sway in the morning.
Sway in the morning, man.
Sway in the morning.
And they just know some kids from the North Side up here, man. You're from what high school you go to?
I actually grew up on the East Side. I grew up on Mercer Island.
Okay.
So I recently moved to Snohomish like about a year ago now after I graduated.
Okay.
And it's cool. I live like there's like horse ranches all around, wild peacocks, deer, coyotes. Like my backyard is the woods basically. It's a total different experience.
Bro, I'm trying to vibe out in the middle of nowhere, bro. That's my kind of wave right now.
Dude, I was hearing you talk about that on your interview, your previous one, and like I felt the exact same way. Like I've been just doing a lot of nature stuff. Like right before, because me and my family had talked about the quarantine that, the one that happened in March. Like we had actually talked about it, and like we thought it was going to happen. Like we were pretty sure when no one else was sure. We were like, this is definitely going to happen. So what I did is I planned a cabin trip with my friends. And do you know Nestra?
Oh, bro, tell me why I was talking to Nestra on the phone literally 2 hours ago.
That's funny as fuck.
That's hilarious.
I took Nestra up to my cabin, which is it's in Greenwater, which is past Enumclaw, and it's basically on this river. And we were there for like a whole week leading up to the quarantine, the day of the quarantine. I got back home at 2:00. The quarantine started at 4 p.m. Like I was just like, I needed to be out of there. I knew something was going to happen. So I was like, where should I go? Fucking nature on the river with Nestra, just kicking it.
Perfection, bro. Perfection. Like that's what my ideal thing is, man. I've been telling my friends, it's just like, let this music bag come. Let somebody throw us a music bag real quick. We're gonna get an Airbnb in the middle of nowhere for a few months, and we're just anybody who has any interest in doing things artistic for a while, come through, man. We're just going to be working on tunes. We're just going to be working on painting. We're just going to be observing Mother Nature, man. I'm trying to go to, I don't know, North Bend, Leavenworth, somewhere,
Yes.
somewhere isolated and gorgeous, but
Yeah.
close enough to Seattle where I can like still like come out here to vibe if I need to.
I don't think people realize how like Washington has like every type of climate. We even have like the deserts. We got the forest, deserts, forest, ocean, like
It's like
everything.
hopping on I-5. It's like once you get to downtown Seattle, instead of going on I-5, going on I-90 and like looking at all these skyscrapers, and then you drive on I-90 for 15 minutes. You drive past that ocean and it's just like, oh, trees, trees, trees. Oh, mountains everywhere. And then you drive for a couple more hours and everything is just what's that stuff called? The yellow stuff, like what's the yellow grass called?
Oh, hey? Is it hey?
Hey,
Hey.
yeah, yeah.
There we
But it's
go.
just like, bro, we got all sorts of terrain out here, man.
What's even crazy is like, so I get most people when they think of Everett, it's kind of like low income area. But like, even if you're in Everett, you can look outside and see the mountains. Like, even in like places that people say are like unhappy, like low income areas in the Seattle area,
I mean,
surrounding it is so pretty.
there's nowhere in Seattle that's not beautiful, man. Like, sure, there are places with more money than other areas, but like, just like going outside and taking a look, man, you're gonna find beauty everywhere out here, man.
Fucking nuts. So tell me about this camp. Is it Camp Prodigy?
Oh, Prodigy Camp, man.
Prodigy
Prodigy
Camp.
Camp
Okay.
is, yeah. I've been doing Prodigy Camp since I was, yeah, 17. I wrote Truce when I first went to Prodigy Camp.
Hmm.
But this dude Rick Stevenson, he put up this he started this camp about 12 years ago, and it's just like a storytellers camp pretty much. It's for young filmmakers and young songwriters. Um, but it's really just a chance to hone your skill and like learn like the importance of storytelling and like different structures of how to do that. But like it's like, oh, for the past 5 years, every summer I've spent a couple weeks just like out in the forest, like doing art, like talking to different kids my age from all sorts, from all around the world. Like there are kids from Australia, there's
Oh
kids from
wow.
like Croatia, there's kids from everywhere that come through the Prodigy Camp, and it's just like we're it's a it's a really really cool thing to reckon, because everybody over there has to, the best part of the whole camp is like the campfires that we have, and everyone's required to just talk about like some of the hardest things they've gone through in life, and just talk about just like growing up and figuring out how to be a human. And it's like really powerful to just get together with a bunch of people your age that love doing art, and then recognizing that life is hard for all of us too, and how we connected in the hardships and the best parts of things, you know.
For sure. And where is it located? Like I think on the website it said Leavenworth, or it could be just completely just out of it.
Yeah, it used to be in like this place in it used to be in Cochise, but now it's in Leavenworth.
Oh wow.
Mhm.
So I was gonna ask like how you compare it to like Totem Star or the Residency, but I guess it's like an actual camp, and I guess people from all over the country and outside of the country go to it.
Yeah, there are people from there, like there are people from all over the world. There are people from all over the country. Like a lot of it is mostly like a lot of the people there are from the Northwest, but like they try to get as much of a broad spectrum as possible.
Damn. So do you think it basically fits in with the Totem Stars and Residency
I
programs?
haven't, I'm not that tapped in on Totem Star, but the Residency, I have a few friends that have done the Residency, like Nestor has, and Talea and Brandon have. I don't know extremely how much, like what goes on at the residency, but like I yeah, it is on the same idea, just on some like, hey, how can we empower the youth to use their voice?
Yeah, for sure. Like whenever I've talked to like a totem star or a residency alumni or current student, they say that if they hadn't been part of that program, they wouldn't be where they are now. So I'm guessing same for you when it comes to the
Oh, bro,
Prodigy
man,
place.
I know. I think I make music the way I make music because I learned about storytelling at Prodigy Camp. I learned about leadership at school and at leadership camp and at church and stuff. I learned about expressing myself in musical theater. I learned like I take all of my experiences and all the camps I got to do,
Mhm.
like as the main reason why I'm doing this now.
That's crazy. And it's just closed this year. Like when I was listening to like a news article, they were trying to make it seem like it was closed down forever. Is it just this year because of the
It was just
virus
this
or?
year, yeah. It was
Okay.
just this year for the virus. Hopefully we're back in 21, but we don't know, man. They're talking about concerts in 22 now.
Oh shit.
I would hate to see that, but whenever concerts can come back, man, the goal is that we'll be large enough artists that by then that we'll be large enough artists that there's no reason for us to not be on the festival circuit.
Bumper shoot.
Come on, man. Biggest dream, man. Bumbershoot, Coachella, Tacoma Dome, man.
Hell
I
yeah.
know they're building
Key
they're
Arena.
rebuilding Key Arena right now. I want to be able to say that I did the Tacoma Dome once in my life. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
I saw Kendrick there, man. I saw
That's fucking
Kendrick and
nuts.
Drake at the Tacoma Dome.
Yeah.
Kendrick, Drake, Nate at the Tacoma Dome, bro. I'm trying to be able to
Oh
say something like
shit.
that.
Yes. That's crazy.
Slowly but surely, though.
I feel like that's so important to have like any type of program. Like even for me, like I feel like if I hadn't been in my radio program in school, I wouldn't be where I'm at. Like those type of programs are very important. So if someone you can't of course can't do it this year, but if like people are interested in being part of it, like is there an age limit? Like how do you sign up?
If you go on the Prodigy website, you can you can try to sign up. But yeah, I've like I've like uh I've made like I've like introduced people to the program so they could possibly get in after the fact, and they did. Like I've had a couple people like come through the program, and it's just like kind of changed their lives.
That's dope. Are you like their like star pupil then in a way or?
I mean, there's a lot of people there, bro. Like there's like a lot there's all sorts of award-winning filmmakers. There's a few people that are signed to major labels over there, but yeah, I would say everybody just goes there. Everybody's on the same level. Everybody's just sort of kind of just like
For
super
sure,
into it.
man. That's dope. So we kind of touched on your video, but for like the audience members who don't know, go a little bit more in depth about this new video and when it's going to be coming out, and if you're even allowed to say that yet.
Yeah. So we've been working on a short film. Working title is enough, like the song, but it's basically just my growth from Truce to this next song enough, and what got me to this point, and just like it's really speaking on everything that's been going on these days, just everything that's been going on for 400 500 years, but like it's in your face extremely this year. And I just wanted to put a story out about where I'm at. And I think it's when people watch the video, they're gonna grow with me. And I think they're going to understand who I am, and they're gonna hear me a lot more. And I think a lot of people right now are just in a position where it's just like I've been screaming out in these streets for weeks upon weeks upon weeks. Why aren't you hearing me?
Mhm.
And I think a lot of people are just like trying to be heard right now. So I'm trying to do my best to try to speak for the movement and speak for where people are at and speak for where I'm at.
For sure. Did you hear about Derek Chauvin posting bail today?
$1 million bail, man. $1 million bail.
That's fucking. You're a cop. How do you make $1 million bail? How do you post that shit?
GoFundMe.
Damn, you got all that.
Probably, bro. It's like the what's the kid who murdered those people? Man. The kid who went to the protest and like Kyle Rittenhouse or whatever his name
At
is.
the yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, he just
Blew
shot
those
up
guys' brains out.
Yeah, bro. And he's just like
Messed up.
that kid, 17-year-old, has fans, bro, because he murdered protesters. And they raised, I think they raised 100,000 for him, bro. And it's just like the guy, George Zimmerman, sold the murder weapon that he killed Trayvon Martin with, man. He offered that shit up. This is like, it's like a sport to kill niggas, bro, and get away with it.
And they've like taken over our team too. Like Black Lives Matter is just, I don't even know what's going on with that shit anymore. Like everything's just, I don't know. Like I personally know, like, and this is just from my perspective, like, of course there's always racism. Like I look like to anyone else, I look like a black guy, but I'm pretty silly with a fucking Mickey Mouse tattoo. I couldn't hurt anyone, but I've definitely like experienced racism. And like since like the protest, I've seen it even worse towards me, even like in my own neighborhood. Like 3 months ago, this guy like drove up to me and my family. We were just going for like a walk. And he's like, "Do you guys live here? Can I have your address?" I'm like, "What the fuck?" And of course, he was a stereotypical old white guy in a white Cadillac. Like, of course, you know. But I'm like, "What the fuck?"
Yeah, I've been living here. Is it? It's just like, what is that, bro? What is that? I'm so yeah, that's whack, bro. It's just like, yeah, I think a lot of the time it's just like the questioning if we're allowed to exist, or like questioning if we're allowed to just be present and just be regular is the most obnoxious part of it.
Like, yeah, I was talking to this guy. I had an interview, like I think it was yesterday, with this guy who's like Samoan. And I think, yeah, Samoans can be fucking gangster as fuck, but I usually like Samoans. I think Samoans are dope. And like he was talking about like how he feels like he has to put his hair in a bun because he's from Hawaii. And like he feels like he has to like hide his ethnicity and everything like that. And I'm like, what the fuck? And he's in Seattle. And it's weird because we were talking about diversity in Seattle, and like, and especially in like low income neighborhoods, there's so much diversity. But then people in Seattle still feel like all this racism that for a lot of people wasn't prevalent until people started going to these protests and realizing that we have fucking like Antifa down the street basically and all this shit, you know?
People don't, I don't know why people didn't think this stuff was happening, but this stuff has been happening every day for the longest time. Like, sure, there are more people out in the streets nowadays than there were maybe a year ago, but people have been in the streets day after day for years, protesting the same things.
Like your song doesn't even, like Truce doesn't even, like, of course we're talking about, we already gave the background, but like, if you were just going to listen to it for the first time today, you would think that's a song that could have just come out in 2020.
Yeah, that song definitely could have came out yesterday. The song could come out tomorrow, and it might still hit a first-time listener the same way, man. And it's just like that's the cool thing about making timeless music, like trying or attempting to make timeless music. But like at the same time, it was annoying to me that every time, it wasn't annoying, but like it was hard because Truce feels like a funeral song to me sometimes, man. It's like every time there's a murder, like every time the media throws on another Black person being murdered by the police and it's like national news, I get 4 or 5 messages on Twitter or Instagram just on some Nate, man, I needed to hear Truce today, man. I needed that, man. We got to love each other, man. We shouldn't be out in the streets. And I'm just like, bro, people are in the streets because you still have to put on Truce right now to clear your mind off of, man, another tragedy happened. That's why people are still in the streets.
I'd rather it be a song that you look back in like 10, 15 years and being like, oh, remember when people had to make songs like that? Like it's like a just historical song versus something 10 years down the road that we're still being like, oh, this sounds brand new. You know, like, but let's still look at like Fight the Power or any type of song like that. That stuff is still all very relevant.
It's all still relevant. Tupac is still so relevant. NWA is all still so relevant, man. And it's just like, because I was talking to my cousin about Trayvon, and I was talking to my cousin about George Floyd and Breonna Taylor, and he was just like, bro, I was born in 1990. Rodney King got murdered in 91, bro. This, like, I don't, like, know if anything's going to change. It's 2020. And I'm just like, I hate the fact that my people feel that hopeless.
Mm-hmm. Or the fact that like I just think this is like on a way smaller scale, but or even like how we had to celebrate it so much that like a Black Panther movie came out with like a black superhero. Like you know how weird that is that no one's like celebrating like a brand new white superhero came out. You know, like
I mean,
why do we have to make it that's such a big deal to us that it's like the first black superhero? There should be way more than that we can celebrate in the movie theaters.
Bro. We shouldn't have we shouldn't no, of course the first one is gonna be the most exciting one. And it's
For
like
sure, but
I'm glad that black people came out and proved to people like, yeah, tell our stories. We're regular people too. You will make money off of telling our stories. It's just like now they're working on I heard they're working on Static Shock too.
oh shit. I used to watch that
Yeah, my
on
older
Disney
brother was a
XD.
Static Shock fanatic.
Hell
So
yeah.
it's just like and my brother's super into comic books too. So it's just like, yeah, you can tell stories about more than just white people and people will relate.
Mm-hmm. Like maybe Green Lantern wouldn't have bombed if they had the black version instead. That's all
Who
I'm
knows,
saying.
man?
That's all I'm
Would
saying.
Ant-Man hit as hard?
Mm,
I don't know, bro. I could not tell you.
I don't know. But speaking of like media attention, I feel like you've done like a really good job with the media attention. Like I was watching like your King 5 News article, which was crazy because they're like, that man was that man was like 10 feet away from me with his mask on trying to interview you. I was like, holy shit.
Shout out to Eric, bro. Shout out to Eric. Everything got to stay protocol.
But they're like, this is blah, blah, 5 years later or whatever. And we interviewed him 4 or 5 years ago also. I'm like, holy shit, these guys know you.
That was luck of the draw, man. Somebody, when we first put out Truce, man, somebody showed it to their pops and was just like, Dad, you got to do a story about this kid.
Oh, wow.
And then Eric, like, shout out to Olivia, bro. I don't know if Olivia was the one who told Eric about me, but like, shout out to Olivia Wilkinson. Shout out to Eric Wilkinson for doing the stories on us, man. Like, and like my Prodigy, Rick just knew him too. So like Rick hit him again and was just, hey, if you could come through and tell this story, that'd be great.
That's fucking nuts. I feel like it's hard for a lot of artists to get the like, King 5, especially, or like Seattle Times. Like, do you think it just takes someone you have to know the right people, or do you know if there's like a way that artists can just do it on their own? Because that's awesome when you got on, but you're also saying like shout out to these people that helped me get on versus being like, oh, I could able to take the initiative myself. Because I feel like it's hard for media outlets to help the Seattle music scene.
I feel like if I did a better job of taking initiative myself type thing, I feel like I'd be in a little bit farther of a place artistically right now. Like I'm getting out of my mom's basement soon. I swear. But like I think it really is just like luck of the draw. I'm gonna put my soul into this and maybe somebody catches it and decides to tell somebody else about it. But like I just like people just I don't really be making that many phone calls on some like, hey, please help me, please help me, please help me. People just have been figuring out about this stuff and have been like, wow, I want to be able to help with what you have to say, or I want to help push this to the next level. So I'm just like, I'm blessed that everybody from Prodigy Camp decided to put in all the energy that they did on this film, man, because when people see the film, man, they're going to be like, oh, they're like, this isn't just like a regular kid putting out music on SoundCloud, man. Like this is like this is like an artist, man.
Sure.
This is like a film. This is like I want people to really like start taking what we have. I think people already do take me seriously, but like I think more and more, I think what we've done this summer is really gonna bring that to a larger scale.
It's like the next step. People are going to start looking at this. Oh, have you
Hmm.
heard his Enough song? Enough is what actually got me through things. Maybe Seeds,
Hmm.
but Enough, that's the new one.
And it's like if people hear enough, if the first time you've ever heard Nathan Nzanga is listening to enough, and you're like, yeah, let me go click on another one of his songs. That's a W. And
Hell
if
yeah.
you decide to click on Seeds or Truce, and even though I wrote Seeds in 2015, if that's the one that resonates with you right then and there, and you decide to hit repeat on that one and not the thing that I put out last week, oh man, I can't be upset that something else that I said resonates with you, but like, I'm glad that I can say something that speaks to you. And I'm glad you found something that I said that speaks to you.
For sure. Seems like you're very excited for this new project, or can you call it? It's like everything's a project in a way. This sounds like a pretty huge project, honestly. If it's not like even if it's not like a full on album, this is definitely a fucking project to do this
Nah,
shit.
man, this is like the biggest, like, I've learned how to make albums by making the Welcome to Natropolis mixtapes. Like, and each one of them I feel like as a cohesive record, like I don't know, maybe Seeds is your favorite song out of all three records, but like the third record is the best one just off of like just structure and to me, everything's subjective. But I want to be able to say that we grew every single time we put something out. And I think with this one on the making sure my ducks are on a roll, um with all the business aspects of things and making sure that we're doing things on the media side correctly, and like we have a team now, man. Like I have a team of people that I've been rocking with for a while, but like everybody's been individually spread out helping me, like, but now we have like weekly meetings on just like this is our team and this is how we're moving forward and this is how we're getting to the next step. And I think everybody's been putting their energy and really taking this to the next level. So I think this is like this upcoming release is the most major release I've ever had. And like I love to keep the ball rolling on that, man. I think my favorite song that I make is probably always going to be the newest song that I make, but
For sure.
I can't be upset if people want to hear Seeds.
But yeah, I think it's important for you to talk about that business side. Like that's what artists need to know, that having that team is very, very important. Like you can get only this far without a team. Like even those independent artists or like a J. Cole who says they're independent, they definitely have a fucking team behind them helping them out.
No,
So
everybody like Chance is independent, but like Chance's team is way too large to be independent. Like you gotta be like, no, Chance is independent for sure, but like Chance's team,
mhm.
the if you that's my like ideally, man, if like you don't have to go to a record label, if the stuff that you put out with your homies type thing just resonates on a national or world scale type thing just because, sure, so be it. Let's do it. But I don't know, I think we may need some help. I'm all ears. I just want to learn. I just want to know what's going to take us to the level that for people on an international scale to hear these stories.
For sure, man. I think you're on the right track. You know, like I'm excited to see how this video turns out, and I definitely think you're on the right track. Like I only reach out to artists that I feel like are on the right track. That's the easiest way to put it.
No, I appreciate you for reaching out, bro. Like I was watching some of the interviews, bro. It's like you've been working with some heavy hitters, bro. You've been working with some like you've been like I'm this like my name is on this list as well. And it's like you just had loot up there, bro.
Yeah, dude, that was
I was
dope.
like, whoa. I was like, hey.
Thank you, thank you. So Nathan, what is some advice that you have for up and coming artists, creators, influencers?
Bro, I would say my biggest advice would be put your head down and just do it. Just there's always another option. There's always something else that you could be doing, man. There's like working is boring, but like there's always something else that could be going on, bro. Just pick pick art, man. You don't have to be going out every night type thing. You don't have to be, pick art, bro. Just if you like making art, do it as much as possible. Put your head down and try to make and the things that resonate with people are the like real stories. So be true to yourself, and like people will like catch on.
Definitely. That's definitely true. Like, if you're going out to hang out with the bros every night, but you want to be the next Jay-Z making $1 billion, hanging out with the bros every night, it's not going to make you that $1 billion.
People think they can people think they go to the studio, they freestyle one song, they call it good for the night, they put that song out, and then, man, I should be up now. Where's the millions? Where's my Sony deal? Oh, RCA, man. Where are you? I put out my song. I did it. Then you have one song out. You worked for 2 hours. You thought that that's all it was gonna take? You really think that was all it's gonna take? Like, Macklemore wasn't kidding, or Malcolm Gladmore wasn't kidding when he was talking about that 10,000 hours thing. Like, put your head down and do it.
For sure. Well, what is the easiest way for people to reach out to you?
You can reach out to me on Instagram or Twitter at Natropolis, NAYTROPOLIS. I have a record coming out called Accountability or Accountability. I don't know. One of the two. Or and yeah, I have a look out for my song Enough. It's coming. And a short film is coming as well. And I think a lot of people are really going to resonate with the stories that we have to tell.
For sure. Well, this is the NAST podcast with
Nathan Nzanga. I appreciate you for being here, or for having me on, Blake.
For sure, man. I really appreciate you taking time out of your day to do this with me, man.
Yeah, for sure.